We are live, says the connection. It is Sunday afternoon. Welcome everybody as you come into this live stream. If you happen to be watching this on replay, welcome you to the replay. If you're watching this live, if you're watching live now, there are people coming in. Tell me your name and location as you come into the live stream. Name and location, name and location, name and location. Share the information. Name and location as you come into the live stream. My name is Dre, and I am checking in from Miami, Florida. I'm about to post my own name and location into the chat. So there, I just posted mine. Name and location, that's all you got to do. Tell me your name and location as you come into the live stream. This is Dre Baldwin. Today, we're talking about the levels. There's levels to this shit, and we can talk about that on many different subjects. We're talking about levels of expertise. For those of you who are influencers, brand builders, getting yourselves out there in any way, that's the topic here today. So we got Chris from Vancouver, Washington. Shout out Chris. Shout out to Eddie from Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to Lexi in Vegas. Says coming to visit Miami this summer. The weather in Miami is better than the weather in Vegas, so you'll get a weather upgrade by coming to Miami this summer. Keanu checking in from West Palm Beach. The weather's pretty good in West Palm Beach. So shout out to West Palm. We got Boston, Massachusetts. We don't know their name, but Boston, Massachusetts. As you come into the stream, again, tell me your name and location. I'm going to give y'all like 10 more seconds of that. Then I'm going to introduce myself. Then we're going to get right into the material we're going to get into today. Again, today we're talking about levels to this shit. For those of you who are experts or looking to become experts, brand builders, influencers, freelancers, all of that. We got Jersey in the house. It's cold out there. I'm pretty sure it's cold in Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. All right, so my name is Dre Baldwin. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a former 9-year professional basketball player. Now I teach people this philosophy that I call work on your game, which is taking the mindset necessary to succeed in sports and how it applies in business, sports, and life. So I talk about all those things. Is a mindset philosophy, again, based on discipline, confidence, mental toughness, and personal initiative. I'm an author of 25 books. I've done 4 TED Talks. I got 7,000 videos on YouTube, 6,000 blog posts published, 1,400 audio masterclasses, over 200 courses. I do these live streams. I've been doing them every day in 2020. We'll see if we keep doing it on IG. I might move it to Facebook. We'll see. Let's see. Somebody came in asking questions. I don't take questions until I get done with my material, and your questions got to be related to the subject, and I got to want to answer it. So anybody who got questions, hold your questions to the end. Or if somebody posts a question while I'm talking, I will scroll up and see if the question is useful to be answered when we get to the end. But again, today we talking about is levels to this shit. Okay, for this is specifically what I'm talking about here today. It's for anyone who wants to be an influencer, freelancer, brand builder, expert in any subject, and you want to build an audience around you being really good at knowing a subject and teaching people about it. All right, so there are 5 levels that we're going to talk about here. There's actually 6 levels, but the first level is pretty simple. So the first one is level 0. All right, so actually, let me back up. Since these days, we can get information anywhere. Information is everywhere. I can share some information. You can share information. I can put a book on Amazon in the next 20 minutes. You can put a book on Amazon. Anybody can have a podcast, YouTube channel. Anybody could call themselves somebody on a subject. But how do we know who actually knows what they're talking about? How do we know if somebody's actually good or not when we're hearing their information? And if you're a person who's putting yourself out there, being a producer, how do you know how good you are? How do you know what level you're at compared to me, him, her, and everybody else out there? How do you know when you're getting better? How do you know what level you're actually at? Because I think somebody asked me something similar to that when I was doing my live stream yesterday. And for those who are coming in, you tell me your name and location as you come in. I'll shout you out. I'm going to take questions at the end. But we're talking here today about his levels to this shit when it comes to your expertise. So what I'm going to explain to you today is the 5 levels of getting yourself to expertise or raising your expertise, ascending your levels of expertise. So first one is level 0. All right, level 0 is a person who's doing nothing. So this is either as a consumer of information or a creator of information. All these levels apply to both, okay? So if you want to be a level 0 person, that means don't do anything. Don't read any books. Don't watch any videos. Don't take any courses. Don't go to any conferences. Don't have a mentor. Don't take in any information. Just stay exactly as you are. Don't learn anything. And don't do anything. Don't produce anything. Now, all of you are here in this live stream or watching this video. If you're watching the replay, I don't need to talk about that because if you were one of those people, you wouldn't be here. So we ain't got to worry about level 0. Level 1. This is the first level of information. This is the level that a lot of people think puts them in a space to offer opinions and offer feedback and offer what they consider to be knowledge, but it's not. Level 1 is you are a consumer of information. That's level 1, a person who consumes information. So in other words, let's say, for example, I go read a book about tennis, right? I never played tennis. I played basketball, and I run a business, but I've never played tennis. So if I go read a book about tennis, that does not mean I could show up to some tennis court where it's some players playing tennis and training and all this, and I can start giving them tips and giving them information like, no, you're doing it wrong. You need to do this and this and this. And I think I'm qualified to do that because I read a book on tennis. No. Reading a book or taking in information or watching a video or hanging with somebody who does something does not qualify you to share information on that subject. If you are a consumer of material on a subject, all that means is just that. You are a consumer of material. That does not qualify you to give information, does not qualify you to sell information. You are not an expert. You don't know what you're talking about, even though you read the book, even though you watched the video, even though you saw the Netflix documentary. That does not mean you know what you're talking about just because you took in information. Everybody follow that? Watching NBA games every night does not qualify you as knowing basketball. Watching anything else happen all the time does not qualify you as knowing something. All it means is that you watch it. That's all it means. It doesn't mean anything else. That's level 1. If you want to get to a level where you really know what you're talking about, which relates to the post that I posted earlier today on my feed here on IG, you got to get to level 2. Level 2 is not only do you take in information and learn things and consume things, but it also means you're out there actually doing things and you have actually done stuff. Level 2 is when you start knowing things. As I said in a post that I posted on Instagram earlier today, you don't know something until you have actually done it. If you have not done it, you don't know it. I don't care how many shows you watch. I don't care who your mom or your dad is. I don't care if you stood next to the person who does it. If you didn't do it, you don't know it. All right. If your best friend plays in the NBA, that don't mean you know anything about basketball. All right, because you didn't play. All you did was watch. You are a consumer. You are a spectator. Spectator is the person who watched it. The person who's out there doing it, that's the person who knows. So I can talk about playing ball because I played ball. I can talk about overseas because I played overseas. I can talk about starting a business because I started a business. I can talk about writing a book because I wrote a book. The things that I haven't done, even if I read about them, I'm unqualified to speak on. If I read 10 books on science fiction, well, that's not a good topic, but science fiction is fiction. But if I read 10 books on rocket ships, I can't go to NASA and start arguing with the astronauts, right? Because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I didn't do it. Until you have lived it and had your feet on the ground and been 10 toes deep in a field, you don't know that field. You may have some theories. You may have an opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. Doesn't mean your opinion is worth anything. You're entitled to an opinion. You're entitled to a theory. You're entitled to say whatever you want to say, but who's going to listen to you? If you haven't actually done something, why would anybody listen to you on a subject if you haven't done anything? You don't have any experience in actually doing it. It doesn't make any sense, right? If something's wrong with your back, you wouldn't go to somebody who read a book about being a chiropractor. You'll go to somebody who's actually helped people with their back. If something's wrong with your car, you wouldn't go to a guy who read a book about fixing cars, right? You would go to somebody who has actually fixed some cars. So, of course, you want to go to someone who has done the thing in order to talk about that thing. And for those of y'all who are coming in, if you leave a comment, I'm only taking questions at the end that are relevant to the topic that we're talking about here today. The topic is levels to the shit expertise-wise. So that's level 2, is that you've done it. Level 0, do nothing. Level 1, consume information. Level 2, you actually did something. Level 3, there's another level to this shit. And this is the other part of what I posted on my feed earlier today. Level 2 is you've done it. Now, if you really, really know a subject, if you kind of know a subject, that means you've done it. You can know something and not be that good at explaining it. But when you get to level 3, that's when you start teaching it. This is the level where you actually become an expert. This is the level at which you become a person who is sought out. And this is when you can teach what you've done. Not only can you do it, but you can explain it to another person and they can take it and they can actually produce a result from it and they're happy with what they learned from you. This is the level where you become an expert. Any of you watching this, you want to be an expert at what you do. You are not an expert through reading a book or watching a show, or I don't care if you read 100 books. You are not an expert even if you've done the thing. All right, I played basketball. That doesn't make me an expert at basketball. What makes me an expert at basketball is that I can teach what I did in basketball and I can explain it to another person, and you could get better at ball if you just follow what I tell you to do. That's what makes me an expert, that I can disseminate and I can codify what I know in such a way that other people can learn and get value from it and actually produce their own results from it. And here's the thing about becoming an expert when you get to level 3 is that you can now teach a bunch of people all at the same time. Instead of doing what they call one-to-one sharing of your expertise, you can do what we call one-to-many. And this is becoming a crowded field these days. A lot of people are doing one-to-many. You see a lot of personal trainers are doing it. Any kind of expert in any field is one-to-many. A book means one-to-many. I wrote a book called Work on Your Game. I wrote 25 books, but I wrote this book, Work on Your Game. I wrote the book one time, but thousands of people have read the book. I only had to write the book once, right? And because I wrote the book once, all these people can start reading the book, even though I only had to do the work one time. I'm talking right now, and however many people watch this video, whether now, on live, on a replay, if I put the video on YouTube or put it on Facebook, if I chop this up into 20 different pieces and put it out on different places, all these different people get to take in this information, but I only had to say it one time. That's one too many because I had the skill of articulating what I know and teaching it in such a way that you could take it and get value from it. And the more people get value from it, the more they'll share it, they'll tell somebody else, and it begins to spread, and that could eventually, maybe it go viral, who knows. But that's the third level. When you become an expert, you can teach people what you know, and they can learn from it. And I'll give you a story real quick. Those of y'all know who Louis C.K. is, right? The comedian Louis C.K. I know he got caught up in a Me Too thing like a year or whatever ago, but he used to have this TV show called Louis. I don't even know what channel it was on. HBO, Showtime, one of those. But anyway, I remember watching this show one time. He had this episode where he had this boring ass life. Like the way the show was set up, it was like Louis, and he had these 2 daughters, and he had this boring ass life. He would just do his comedy, but he didn't do anything else interesting. So one night he went out. It was like a Friday or Saturday night, right? He went out, and he was near a comedy club, and he saw a couple of dudes who was also comedians. So they all know each other. And there's these 2 young black dudes, and Louis was like 40, 50 years old, whatever. But these 2 black dudes was like 30, and they're comedians. So Louis walks up to them, and he's like, yo, and mind you, he got this boring life. So he walks up to the comedians. He's like, hey, guys. And they was like, what's up, CK? And he was like, yo, can I hang out with y'all tonight? And here's what the black dudes was like, oh, so you want to, they looked at each other, and they started laughing. They was like, oh, Louis, you want to hang with the brothers so you can get some pussy tonight, right? And they both started laughing. And Louis was just standing there like he knew they was going to make jokes about him because they're comedians, right? So they was like, all right, come on. You can roll with us, Louis, and we're going to help you get some pussy tonight. That's what the comedian said to him. This is all on his TV show. So they go to the club, right? And these 2 black dudes, they're in the club, and you know how the club, the music is loud as hell, so you can't really talk. So the black dude was trying to talk to Louis, but Louis couldn't hear him. So the black dude was like, yo, watch this. Watch what I'm about to do. So the black dude, he walks over. He tells Louis to stand there and watch. He walks over, and these 2 girls is dancing with each other on the dance floor, these pretty girls. So the black dude walks up to the 2 girls, and he touches one of them on the shoulders like lightly. The girl turns around. They both look at the black dude, and they're like, all right, cool. And he starts dancing with the chick. So he's dancing with these 2 chicks. And then he looks at Louis from across the dance floor. He's like, see, it's easy. This is all you got to do. Just do what I just did, and you can get girls too. So the black dude just demonstrated, made it look real easy. So Louis looking at the dude like, all right, yeah, it was easy for you, but it's not going to be that easy for me. But he can't talk to him because the music is too loud. So then Louis like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go try the same thing. So Louis sees 2 other girls on the dance floor, and he walks over to them, and he's trying to do what he saw the black dude do. So he's holding his hands out like this, like I'm gonna touch these girls on the shoulder and get them to dance with me the same way the black dude did. So when he's about to touch the girl, she turns around and she sees him, and they like scream like because Louis don't look that good. So they start slapping him away. These girls start slapping Louis upside his head and pushing him away, and Louis gets out, he flees the scene, and then he goes out the back door of the club and he leaves because he's embarrassed and he's shamed about the fact that he tried to talk to these girls and they weren't interested. And the 2 black comics who took him to the club, they're like hysterically laughing at him because they saw that he tried to do the same thing and it didn't work. And I was laughing. This is funny as shit. This was like 10 years ago I saw this, but when I see that scene, I still laugh to this day. And I'm telling you all that to tell you this. Those black dudes were at level 2 when it comes to talking to girls because they knew how to do it because he demonstrated. He showed you. He went and talked to the girl. The girl was interested. He was dancing with 2 girls. He was good at talking to girls. The problem was he was not good at explaining how to talk to girls. He could do it. He was at level 2, but he wasn't yet at level 3 because he couldn't teach it. He tried to show Louis what to do, but it didn't work. So you're only an expert not only when you've done it, but when you could teach somebody else and they succeed at it. If you're teaching other people how to do something and ain't none of them good, that means you're not good. As a teacher, it is your job for your students to be good. Now, somebody might ask, well, Dre, what if I got some students who is just some bum-ass people? They don't listen and they don't follow what I say. That's also your fault, because you shouldn't choose students who are dumb. If you choose students who are bums and students who don't listen, then you're making a mistake in choosing the wrong people to teach. You got to find the right people to teach. You got to choose your customers. And I talked about this in a masterclass on what y'all call a podcast. I did a masterclass on this exact subject. You must choose your clients. You do not let your clients choose you. You choose them. If you have a bunch of clients that you are not happy with, any of you who works as a trainer, a coach, a consultant, life coaching, business coaching, any of that, and you're not happy with your clients, you need to fire your clients and go find some better clients. And you probably need to raise your prices. Because if you raise your prices, you will probably filter out a whole bunch of the bum-ass people. And that's just a simple one. But again, I did a masterclass on that as well. I'm not going to do all that here. So that's level 3. We're not done. We got more levels to go to. So today, those of y'all who are coming in late, we are talking the levels to the expertise. Level 0, do nothing. Level 1, take in information. Level 2, do it yourself. Level 3, teach it to other people and they succeed. There's another level, level 4. Because if you're going to be out here sharing things with people and helping them out and helping them get better, that means you're sharing value. You're giving people value, right? So if you give somebody else value, it's only right that you give value back, right? That's just fair, right? I gave you value. You should give me value back. Level 4 is not only when you can teach other people and help them out, but you get paid for it. Level 4 is when you can charge money for your expertise. See, I can sit on here on IG Live or Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or post on Instagram with these long ass captions. I can do that all fucking day if I want to. Here's the problem though. All that shit is free. Instagram's free, Facebook's free, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of them are free. I could post on them all day and give y'all everything that I know for free. The problem is, how am I going to eat? How am I going to pay my bills? I got a bag of chips right here. I got these from Whole Foods. These are good sea salt potato chips you get from Whole Foods. These cost $2.69 per bag. I can't buy these if I give you all my value for free. All right, I got to charge. I got to make money for what I know. And it's only right that if I'm giving you value, you got to give value back. Now, I'm willing to give you some samples like this. I'm giving you a sample right now by putting this out for free. But when I'm doing business, this is part of my business too, but when I'm doing exchange business, they got to pay. You want me to come give a speech at your company's conference? You got to drop the bag. You want me to coach you one-on-one? You got to drop the bag. You want my book, Work on Your Game? You got to drop the bag. You want whatever else I'm selling? I sell a lot of stuff. You want my online course? You want to listen to my podcast every day? You want all my back catalog archive of my master classes? You got to drop the bag. You got to pay. And I'm not saying this in no type of, this is not like you're extorting anybody or doing anything wrong. Because listen, you pay for everything. Is your phone, all y'all watching this on the phone right now, right? Was your phone free? No. All right, what phone company you got? You got Boost Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon. Are they free? Hell no, they ain't free. You in a house right now? All right, is it free? No. If you turn on the lights in your house, do the lights come on? Or is that electricity free? No. You got food in your fridge? Is it free? No. You got clothes on? Was they free? No. Everything costs money. Life is a business. So if you are offering value to other people and they're getting that value and you see it's helping them, you need to charge for your services and you need to get paid fairly for what you're offering. You choose what's fair. Why? Because you're the one who's making it. If you're the one offering the value, it's your choice what's fair and what's not fair. How much is worth and how much is not worth. In other words, there are coaches out here who will coach somebody and talk to them once a week for a month and charge $200 for coaching. And there's other people do the same service. I'll talk to you once a week for a month and it's going to cost you $20,000. What's the difference between the $200 coach and the $20,000 coach? What's the difference? The difference is $19,800. And how did they decide what's the difference? One coach said 200 and the other coach said 20,000. That's the difference. You choose how much your services and how much your goods are worth. Nobody else tells you what it's worth. You choose what it's worth. Level 4 is where you become a professional. By the standard definition of professional. Expert means you can help other people with your knowledge and they get value. Professional means you get paid for your value. You understand the difference? Expert and professional are not the same thing. There are experts out there who are not getting paid for their expertise. Professionals get paid for their expertise. They charge money and you pay. If you want what I got to offer, you got to pay. I wrote a book called Work on Your Game. You want it, you got to pay. The book costs $25. I could charge more for that book. It's worth more. But that's the publisher set that price. But all my other books, I could charge more money if I want. I got a course called Bulletproof Mindset. It's $997. If you want it, you got to pay. And no, it ain't free. No, you can't sample it. No, you got to pay because value in there, I know what it's worth. It's worth 10 times what I charge for it. That is professional. You got to be willing to charge for your services and get money for your services. And here's the thing about being a professional. This is a key thing that I want to make sure all you up and coming freelancers and brand builders understand is you must be willing to say no to people who do not have the bag that you want. And I want to let that one settle in. And oh yeah, while I'm thinking about it, I'll be offering group coaching soon where I'm going to take everything I'm talking about here and a lot more. I'm going to systematize it. I'm going to do a 5-month group coaching package. And I'll tell you about that later. Just follow me on IG. You'll hear about it. Now, let me say what I said again. To be a professional, you must be willing to say no to people who do not have the money that you want. If you are a coach and you say my coaching costs $1,000 and somebody says, well, can you lower your price to $500? The answer is no. You cannot lower your price to $500. You must be willing to tell them to keep walking because they ain't got the price. They ain't got the bag that you want. A lot of people want to be professionals, but they are afraid to say no, so they don't turn down any opportunity. And listen, whatever you accept is what you're worth. If you think you're worth 100 and somebody offers you 75 and you say yes, then you're not worth 100. You're worth 75 because you accepted it. Y'all understand that? If you say you're worth 100 and somebody offers you 90 and you say yes, then you're worth 90. You are only worth what you are willing to accept. And that applies to all of life. That's not just about money. That's about anything. Any of you dating an asshole dude or an asshole chick and you accept it, and you just let them keep being like that and you don't leave, all right, then that's what you are because you accepted it. Whatever you accept is what you are worth. If you want your value to go up, you got to start saying no to the stuff that you do not want. And a lot of business people make this mistake. And as far as me, like as a professional speaker, I posted this probably like last summer. Somebody reached out to me and said, Dre, we're interested in talking to you about speaking at one of our conferences, right? I never heard of this chick. She sent me an email. She's like, can we set up a call? I said, sure, let's set up a call. So this is usually how it goes. So we set up this call. I get on a call as a conference call. It's like 3 of them on the phone, these 3 women. I don't know who they are. I never heard of their conference, but I listened to what they were saying. This is an official conference. It's a real thing. I looked it up. This is a real conference that happens every year. And I'm like, how'd y'all hear of me? They was like, we saw one of your TED Talks and we like what you were saying about confidence. We think this could help people. So they tell me about the conference and all that. And they like, well, how much is your fee? And I told them what my fee was. And they said, all right, well, look, we're going to talk to a couple other people. We'll get back to you. They came back to me like a week later. And they said, yo, we're not going to be able to work with you. And I said, why not? And they said, your fee was a little bit higher than what we had budgeted. And I said, all right, no problem. Thanks for reaching out. And I hung up the phone and it was over. I didn't try to tell them. I didn't say, here's what a lot of people do wrong at this point. This is what they do. They say, well, how much was your budget? Oh, your budget was half of what my price was? All right, I'll do it for half the price. Don't do that. Do not do that. If you think you're worth X, do not accept half of X. You think you're worth $1, don't accept 50 cents. What did Jay-Z say in the song? If you owe me $10, you ain't giving me 9. If you think you are a professional and you're good at what you do, you got to stand on something. If you don't stand on it, you ain't worth it. And this is how a lot of people start with their price right here. Then they accept this. Then they accept this. Then they accept this. And before you know it, they doing all their work for free. And they like, what the fuck happened to my business? You happened to your business because you accepting bullshit. If people ain't got your bag, you walk away. Everybody got that? All right. Now, that's 4 levels so far. We're not done. It's a bonus level. So, what we're talking about here is expertise. And I'm going to take questions after I get to level 5. So, if y'all got questions, get them ready. Be concise and get to the point. Now, the levels. Level 0, do nothing. Level 1, take in information. Level 2, you can do it. Level 3, you teach it. Level 4, you charge for it. Level 5, this is a bonus level. This is when people call you. You don't have to call them. They call you. They know they got to pay. And they want to pay. And not only do they know they got to pay, they know that your price is higher than a whole bunch of other people's prices, and they want to pay anyway. That's level 5. That's the bonus level. The reason why I call this a bonus level is because, look, you can make a great living. You could make $1 million at level 4, meaning you're good at what you do. You do it, you teach it, you charge for it. You can make millions of dollars at level 4. You just got to know how to sell. You got to have a sales process in place and sell. You can sell. You can make millions of dollars at level 4, okay? Level 5 is usually reserved for people who become famous, at least in their market. They don't have to be worldwide famous, but they're famous at what they do. For example, who's somebody that's famous? Like Magic Johnson is a good example. Magic Johnson is famous. Magic Johnson does professional speaking gigs. Y'all might not even know that. He speaks at conferences of shit that you never even heard of. Like in 2 weeks, I'm speaking at a conference called the National Pavement Expo. You know the pavement, like when you walk on the ground. Do you know there was a conference for that? I'm speaking at that in 2 weeks. Magic Johnson speaks at conferences like that. But the difference between me and Magic Johnson is that when I speak at those conferences, I call them and I sell them for the most part. Sometimes they call me, but most of the time, 90% of the time, I call them and I sell them on me because I know how to sell myself. And then they give me the bag, and then I do the deal. Magic Johnson don't call nobody. They call him, and they know that his fee's gonna be whatever. It's gonna be a lot, and they're like, "Yo, we got it. We'll give you that bag. You gonna come speak at our conference?" Magic Johnson will say yes or no. Here's the thing about when you're at level 5, is that you could turn down more business than you take in, because you got so much opportunity coming your way. You can't do it all. Magic Johnson will have 20 different people asking him to come speak at a conference, and he can only say yes to 5 of them because sometimes they on the same date, his travel schedule, and he got all his other business that he does. When you get to level 5, if you get to level 5, you're going to be saying no more often than you say yes because you have to. You don't have a choice. When you're level 4, you got to go sell, and you could fill up your calendar, but you won't have to say no that often because you ain't got as many incoming as outgoing. When you're at level 5, you ain't got to call nobody because your phone is just ringing all day. You might have to hire somebody just to take your calls. That's level 5. But again, level 5 is for people who become famous. And you can, again, I want to make sure I'm being clear. You can make an amazing living at level 4. All right, everybody don't become famous. You can make a lot of money without being famous. Like rich and famous, you don't have to be both. Because there's people out here who are rich who you never heard of. They not on Instagram posting, telling you about their cars and how they pulling up to the airport. There are people who are rich who are anonymous. And there's people who are famous who ain't even got that much money. All right. Some of them call themselves influencers, but that's a whole different conversation, a different day. So let me go through these 5 levels again, and I'm going to take questions for whoever got questions. Now, today's topic is the levels of expertise. Level 0, do nothing. Level 1, take it in, take in information. Level 2, you do it. Level 3, you teach it. Level 4, you charge for it. Level 5, you so famous that they call you and they throwing the bags at you. You got to decide which bags to take. Now, let me take questions. I see that there were comments coming in while I was talking. So let's see what we got. My name is Dre Baldwin, for those who don't know me. I do this every day, for those of you who don't know. I've been doing this actually. What I just gave y'all, what I just articulated, I've been teaching shit like this for years. If you're new to me, welcome. Welcome to the show. I've been doing this for a long time. This is not new. It's new to you. So I'm glad you're here, but stay here so you don't miss the next stuff. So I'm looking through the comments, and we're going to see what we got questions-wise now. Somebody, Big Black Wolf says, what is your end goal? What do you want to accomplish when it's all said and done? I talked about this yesterday. I don't tell people my goals, and this is something that I tell my audience. I tell people, don't tell anybody your goals unless they're involved in helping you get there. If they're not involved in the goal, then they can find out about it after you do it. They'll know that was your goal because you did it. But when you're on your way to it, you don't need to tell the whole world your goal, because for what? What are they going to do to help you? If they're not helping you get there, they don't need to be involved. It's a waste of time even talking about it. That's my stance. Other people think differently, but you on my live stream, so that's the way that I feel. And I wrote about that in my book, Work on Your Game, also. You can read about that in my book where I explained it even more. Karun just said, there's levels to money also: broke, middle class, rich, wealthy, and finally 1%. Well, it depends on how you break those down, but you can explain that on your own live stream. I'm not going to jump into that. Lucretia MD was good. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the comments. Riley says, I agree, yet we've seen horrific takes from former NBA players Paul Pierce, Ryan Hollins. However, some of the great basketball minds, Tex Winter, Greg Popovich, never played basketball. Well, horrific takes is an opinion. That's not a fact. So if Paul Pierce says something that you disagree, that doesn't mean that he's wrong. It just means that you disagree. That's an opinion. I'm not talking about opinions. I'm talking about someone giving expertise and giving knowledge that produces a result. I think Paul Pierce, one of the reasons Paul Pierce got hired to work on TV because he used to play in the league, and people know who he is. Like, you're saying his name, so you know who he is. So that's a little bit different when we talking about opinions. I'm talking about expertise, whereas you're teaching something and people get a result from it. It's not the same as just throwing out opinions. That's a big business these days. But Paul Pierce got a job, so I mean, obviously somebody's pleased with it. But we'll see if he got a job next year. As far as what you said about basketball minds, Tex Winter, again, that's also an opinion. I think a lot of people agree with you, but to say that their mind is great is your perspective, but it's not factual. I agree with you, but that doesn't make it a fact. Even if everybody agrees with it, it doesn't make it a fact. It's just an opinion. The Sports Geek was good. Coach Kev with Creature, thank you for the thumbs up in the comments. Sports Geek says, I've been following you for 10 years since I was 15. You helped change my game. I appreciate that, Sports Geek. Can you send me a testimonial? If you can send me a testimonial by video, I'll send you a special prize. But you got to send me a testimonial by video. Karonda said, drop the bag. Yes, they got to have a bag. If you want to be a business person, you got to be willing to demand the bag. And if they don't have the bag, you got to be willing to walk away. A lot of business people are not willing to walk away from bags. I tell you about a business person I know. I'm not going to say who they are, but if they watching this, they know who they are. They wanted to do some professional speaking, right? And I said to them, like, yo, if somebody calls you for a speaking gig, tell them the price. And somebody called them, emailed them, said, can we set up a call to talk to you about speaking? And I said, yo, charge X. I told them how much to charge. Tell them this is your fee. And just say it. Don't explain it. Don't apologize for it. Just tell them your fee. Either they got it or they don't. And this person was like, I don't want to say that number because they might say no, and then I won't get the opportunity, and I won't get the experience, and I don't want to miss out on the money. And I'm like, motherfucker, do you understand? If you keep doing that, you're going to keep driving your price down, and you're never going to get the money. And this is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. And I talked about this again. For those of y'all who don't know, I got a podcast. It's called Work on Your Game. It comes out every day. This right here, if you like this is just off the top. I'm just speaking off the top right now. If you like how I'm talking and the things that I'm explaining, imagine what it sounds like when I get to plan it out and I structure it. It's 10 times better than this. So if you think this is good and it ain't nobody in the world who could do what I do, all right, understand what it's like when I actually suss it out and explain it. Lucretia MD, I appreciate that. Lucretia, what do you do for work? What kind of work you in? Coach Kev said that's some real shit. That's a fact. Everything I say is real shit. Renee says word of mouth would be you give discounts. That's right. Number one, Renee. I don't know what part of your name that is. I know I'm mispronouncing it. I apologize. But she said word of mouth becomes you give discounts. This is a good point that she just made right here. When you start lowering your price to fit what other people's budget, and a lot of times when people say their budget is X, usually they're lying. They're just saying that to drive your price down. So that's why you got to be willing to say no, because people will bullshit you all the way down to zero if you keep lowering your price to meet budgets. First of all, word will get around. They'll tell somebody else, like, yo, we just hired Dre, and his price was $100. Even though I want my price to be $1,000, if I accepted $100 from them, how am I gonna say no to you if you say, well, you took $100 from them, why you won't take it from me? So word gets around. That's number one. And here's the other thing that happens internally. You tell yourself that your price is not what you say your price is. If I say my price is $1,000, and then you call me and say I got $100 for you, Dre, and I'm like, yeah, all right, is my price really $1,000? No, because I accepted it. So it's not only what other people say about you, it's about what you say about yourself. If I say my price is this and I accept this, I can't trust me anymore because I just lied to myself. So I don't know if you ever heard of me before. It's your first time seeing me, but everything that I talk about, we always bring it back to number one, to yourself. So yes, you're 100% right that other people will say stuff about you, but what's more important is what you say about you. Because when you say my price is $1,000 and this shit ain't fucking changing, I don't give a damn what everybody else says. You paying my price, whether you want to pay it or if you don't want to pay it or you ain't got it, yo, you go call somebody else. But we always bring it back to ourselves because we can't control other people. I mean, you can't control what other people say about you, but you can always control what you say about you. And your brand starts with what you say about yourself. I'm talking to everybody right now. I'm not talking to just one person, but your brand is always about what you say about yourself, because other people can only judge you based on how you present yourself. And if you present yourself the way that you want to, they ain't got no choice but to accept it, because what else they got to go off of? And yes, I have a masterclass on that exact subject. Your brand starts with what you say about you. If y'all can see the list of all the episodes that I've done in this masterclass, as a matter of fact, you can go to workonyourgameu.com. Let me post that so y'all can see. This is the link, that link that I just posted in the comments. That's where you can see every episode of my show. Y'all call it a podcast. I call it a masterclass, because my podcast is not like normal podcasts where it's two people sitting and just talking shit for an hour, then they post it like, yo, new podcast. It's me coming up with a certain topic, and I explain it, I suss it out, I got the points that I want to make, and I explain it in detail the way that I'm doing with y'all right now. I do it like this every single day. On any topic you could think of, I've done it. I have today's episode of my podcast was episode number 1,347. And it's daily. And that's not a joke. 1,347. That is not a joke. That is the actual number. There is nobody in the world who can do what I do. Not the fucking Gary Vee, not Tony Robbins, not anybody you can name. Nobody could do what I do. Nobody. Now, let's get back to the comments. Miss Sis says Tony Robbins is level 5 for sure. Yes, absolutely he is. Tony Robbins is famous. Everybody knows who he is without me even explaining who he is. He gets more calls coming in than he has to send out. And by the way, Tony Robbins still does advertising. Even though he gets incoming calls, he still does advertising. Advertising is an outgoing call, is a form of outgoing calls. Somebody say Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas too. Eric Thomas is, there's levels to level 5 too. Tony Robbins is a little bit higher than Eric Thomas, but yes, I would put him in that group. I don't follow ET like that, so I don't know too much about what he's doing, but I would guess he's in there. Brandon Joseph is shooting his shot at a commentator in the middle of the live stream. Hey, I respect it. Shoot your shot. Hopefully it goes in. But I don't think that's going in because I think Miss Sis is taken. If I'm correct, if I'm remembering names properly, I think she's taken. Karunda Group says you should teach people how to sell yourself. Karunda, I do teach people how to sell themselves. Guess what? In the game group, you wouldn't even believe this, Karunda, and I didn't plan this. And that link that I just posted, there's a free course in there that's called, guess what it's called? It's called Sell Yourself. It is in the game group. When you become a member of the game group, on the 15th day of your membership, there is a course you get access to, and it is called Sell Yourself. Like I told y'all, any question you could possibly ask me, any challenge you possibly got, I have addressed this challenge in content or in some product, service already. You just don't know about it. And that's not your fault that you don't know about it. I'm going to let you know about it today. That's why I do this, so you know. Brandon says, I followed this man for years. Trust me, I got it. That's what's up. Coach Kev says, how do you feel about Skip Bayless? He talks about others even though he's never played the sport at a high level. Yeah, he seems to have an impact where people want to hear what he says. Well, Skip Bayless's profession, Coach Kev, so this is a good question because people ask about these people who give opinions like Paul Pierce and whoever. Skip Bayless's profession is not to be an expert at basketball or any sport. That's not his profession. Skip Bayless gets paid to give opinions. That's his job. His expertise is that he has an opinion. What he's an expert at is telling you what he thinks, explaining why he thinks it, and then getting you to react to it. That's what he gets paid for. All right, that's what ESPN does. They put people on there who are going to offer some opinion, get us riled up about it, and get us talking about it. And you know what happens when we talk about it? We tune in to watch the shit tomorrow. And then we watch the day after that. And then we watch the day after that. And then we watch the next day. And then we follow them on social media. That's how ESPN makes their money. They make their money by having people paying attention. They don't have to be right. They don't have to be correct. You don't have to agree with them. All you got to do is watch. If you're watching Skip Bayless, he's doing his job. His job is not to be correct. His job is not to be an expert at basketball or football or whatever the fuck they're talking about. His job is to get you to talk about him. And you just mentioned him. So guess what? He's doing his job. And that's why they pay him the big bucks. Or whoever he works for. Fox. He works for Fox now. You know why Skip Bayless... Oh, and this is another good thing. You know why Skip Bayless works for Fox instead of ESPN? Because Fox had that bag. When Skip Bayless' contract was up, Skip Bayless said, yo, this is the bag. This is the bag that I want, ESPN. Y'all got it? ESPN said, let us think about it. Fox said, we got it. Skip said, all right, I'm going to Fox. He had that bag. And guess what ESPN said? They said, oh, shit. We lost Skip. We can't lose Stephen A. So when Stephen A's contract came up, guess what ESPN did? I ain't even got to tell you the rest. They dropped that motherfucking bag. And Stephen A. Smith got that bag. It would have been great if they would have kept them together because they were very good together. But, hey, we all got to get our bags, right? N. Simon says, what would you look for when deciding which college to go to? Well, for me personally, it depends on where I was in my situation. Am I trying to walk on and play ball? Am I looking for a certain degree? Am I looking for it to be in a certain location? Do I got a friend or a girlfriend that I want to stay close to? All of those things. So you just got to figure out what's important in your life. Is it basketball if you play a sport? Is it a degree? Is it a sport you're playing? Is it friends? Is it location? Is it the college environment? What is it that matters the most to you? You got to decide what that is. Then you could decide on the college. Miss says, you mentioned a group coaching package. Do you do individual private coaching? So first of all, yes, I am going to offer a group coaching package very soon. I I was just brainstorming this today. So I'm going to flesh it out this upcoming week, and I'll probably put that offer out before the end of the month. Hopefully. I work quickly, so it'll probably be sooner than that. So I will do that. As far as your second question, yes, I do individual private coaching, but as we've been talking about here, I'm going to be clear with everybody. My private coaching is not cheap. There are people who offer coaching for cheaper than me. My coaching is not cheap. I don't offer coaching to try to get as many people as possible. I try to get the right people, and I use my price as a filter. So yes, I do offer private coaching, but it's not cheap. I'm going to tell you that right now. But if somebody's interested in that, you can hit me in the DM or go to DreBaldwin.com. That's my speaking about page. If you want to hire me to coach you or speaking something like that, that's DreBaldwin.com. My homepage is Dre all day. My speaking stuff is DreBaldwin.com. Let me see. I'm going to post that link too. DreBaldwin.com is for speaking and all that stuff. So I appreciate the question, Miss Sis. We got a lot of comments here. I appreciate it. I like when people have comments and y'all got thoughtful questions. Lucretia says, what about former clients who run into financial trouble? Do you recommend reducing your rate, or how would you handle that? That's a good question. So let's say you got a client, right, and you charge them, we'll keep the number simple. You got a client, you charge them $1,000 for whatever. And then you coach them or help them, whatever. And then they're like, damn, I ran into financial trouble. I want to keep working with you, but I only got $500 right now. What can we do? What can we work out? There are two things that I would suggest you do. Actually, three things you can do. Number one, you can offer a little bit lesser service for that money. So let's say you just want to get that $5. Like you need that $5 for yourself on the low. You ain't gonna tell them that, but you need that $5. Then instead of talking to them every week, talk to them every other week, and then it makes sense. So you can do that. You can just offer them less services. But I don't really like that option. I don't like taking away part of the package from a person, because then they feel like they're getting lesser than what they could have got, and nobody likes that. So I don't like doing that. What I suggest you do, the other thing you can do is you can add value. So say to them, look, I want you to be able to get this for this price. So in order to get this, I'll throw in this. You got to have extra stuff you can throw in. If any of you ever bought anything from me, you see, if you buy a product from me, I'll say, look, not only are you going to get this book or this course, but I'm also going to give you this masterclass. I'm gonna give you these 10 masterclasses. I'm gonna give you this audio right here. I'm gonna give you this video. I'm gonna give you the transcript from this speech that I gave. I'm gonna give you this 10-part PDF explaining how to do this. I'm gonna give you this thing over here. I'm gonna give you like another $10,000 in value on top of the thing that you're paying for. I'm gonna give you all that $10,000 in value free. All you gotta do is pay for the one product. But I'm gonna give you all this extra stuff. So now the value of what you're buying goes up. It goes from here to here because I'm throwing in all this extra stuff. And the thing is, this extra stuff doesn't cost me anything because I've already created it. Like I could take this video right here, real rep. I take this video right here, put this on YouTube as a private or unlisted video, and I could throw this in as a bonus to somebody who's trying to build their business. Because what I just taught y'all is I could charge money for what I just gave y'all, or truthfully. And I could throw this in as a bonus. So, and because I do these every day, I got 7,000 videos on YouTube. I got 1,400 masterclasses. I got 6,000 articles. I got 25 books. Imagine how many bonuses I could throw into a product if I wanted to. That's how you start to build value. So you got it. That's why creating content, technically this is free, but I can make it part of something that costs extra in a different package in the future. But that's why creating content, that's what they call repurposing. So repurposing doesn't just mean put it on Instagram and then put it on Facebook and then put it on LinkedIn. It means you could take something that you offer for free and you could throw it in as a bonus that's worth money. This is not worth zero, even though you didn't pay for it. This could be, I could say this is worth $497. What I just gave you, because I'm giving you a business lesson. You understand? So I could throw this in next time when I put out a business book, I could throw this video in as a bonus that's worth $500. And now the value of that business book is more because I'm throwing in this video. You understand that? So you can add value to your client, Lucretia, for your question. Add value, offer more stuff so that they understand that, oh, wait, you know what? I better get that $1,000 because if I don't, I'm missing out on all that. Instead of I'm missing out on this, I'm missing out on this. And when people feel like they're missing out, they don't like that. That's what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. People will do crazy things to not miss out on stuff. So you just got to learn the mindset of the consumer so you can get into how they think and you can better sell people. But that's all like part of marketing. And right now, like what I've been focused on for the last, I say 6+ months, the last year or so, is just learning more about marketing, the science of marketing, the art of marketing. Even though I think I'm pretty fucking good at marketing, there's people out there who are way better than me. So I'm learning from them. And that's why I go to conferences, I read books. If I'm not creating, like doing this, I'm listening to other people and reading their stuff and taking in their stuff and learning. And then I make it my own. I combine it with my own experiences. Then I can teach it to y'all. It becomes a brand new thing. So I'm using my experience to explain it to you. I don't have to lift from nobody else. I take my own experiences, and as I learn how they make sense, and because I got 10,000 hours in of this articulating my ideas, I can explain it to you in a way that you understand, even if you never thought of it before. So that's my skill. That's my expertise. So hopefully that answers your question. Oh, here's the third thing you could do. You could say to them, no, I'm not giving you a discount. You need to go get that money. And here's how you say that to them. You tell them, look, how much value have you gotten already? All right, where were you when we first started, and where are you now? How much have I helped you? How much better have you gotten as a result of working with me? And they're going to tell you how much better they got, and you're like, okay, do you want to keep getting better, or do you not? Do you want to go back to where you were? You want to go back to ground zero? You want to keep getting better? Okay, then look, I would be doing you. This is me. I'm talking as you, Lucretia. I'm talking to your client. I would be doing you a disservice if I gave you a discount on my services, because now you're not going to value them as much. If I force you to go get that money and pay me how much you need to pay me, now you're going to value it a lot, because it's hurting your pockets a little bit to have to pay me. And because it's hurting your pockets, guess what? You're going to pay attention to every fucking thing I tell you to do, and you're going to do it, and you're going to listen to me 100% because you know you paid for it, because you know you invested. People don't pay attention to things they don't pay for. Like this right here, this stream, a few of y'all are going to take everything that I'm saying, and you're going to run with it. But a lot of people who listen to everything that I said for the last 45 minutes, you ain't going to do nothing with this information. You know why? Because I gave it to you for free. That's why. You ain't going to value it because you got it free. Now, if I charge you $100 to come listen to me, everybody would do something with what I said. If I charge you $1,000, you'd be writing down every fucking word I was saying. You rewind this and listen to it 10 times. Why? Because you paid for it. People do not pay attention until they pay. So if somebody tells you they ain't got the money, or they ain't on financial hardship, you can respect that. Listen, they might not be lying. They may be telling you the truth. Maybe everybody goes through stuff, right? But that don't mean you should discount your products, because even though they don't have money anymore, or they don't have the same amount of money, the value of your offer you didn't get worse, did you? The value of your products didn't get lower. So why should you lower your price to help them? No, you should help them by making them go get that money so that they value it. And because they don't have any money now, because they got all the money they got and gave it to you, guess what? Everything you tell them to do, I guarantee you they're going to do it. And they're going to give you a great testimonial, because they're going to get 100% value. Because if you're good, Lucretia, whatever you tell them is guaranteed to work. And that's the way that it works. That's the reason why people got to be really discerning about choosing your clients. When you choose people who need to get a result, not they want to get a result, not it's nice to get a result. People who need a result, you know what they do? They listen to everything you said. And they do everything you say. And they follow everything you tell them to do. Why? Because they invested in it and they need to get a result. See, the people who want a result, or it'd be cool to get a result, they kind of listen. They might do what you say. They might follow it. They might not. They bullshit because they don't need it. But people who need it, they'll do every fucking thing you say. That's why you got to charge people for stuff. And that's why this stream, like I said, people who heard this for free, they ain't going to do shit with it. So I ain't even worried about giving it away. You ain't going to do nothing with it. But people who pay, they'll do something with it because they paid for it. That's the way it works. That's a mentality of people. And you as the salesperson, Lucretia, you got to have that mindset that your value did not go down at all. So there's no way you're lowering your prices. Prices should only go up, not down, in my opinion. Other people have different ways of looking at that, but that's the way I see it. Hopefully that answers your question. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. Brandon said, I like that club example because guys think that because they walked up on a chick and she dances with him, it's going to be 100% guarantee you won't get booed by her. Well, Louis C.K. made that up. I use that example not about the girl. That was really about teaching what you know. But if that's what you took from it, that's fine. Lucretia says, I have clients who I used to train, but they paid my rate that I asked for, but want to, I guess you're saying they want to get a discount. No discounts. Lucretia, if you run into a lot of people who are asking you for discounts, the problem is not you. The problem is you're talking to the wrong people. You need to find better clients to sell to. That's the problem. And that's something I've done a masterclass on that subject as well on my podcast, which you can get at Work on Your Game University, workonyourgameu.com, is that You have to choose your clients. Don't let your clients choose you, because when your clients choose you, you're going to run into a lot of people who ain't got no money, and they're going to want a discount because they don't have money. Not because they're trying to short you. They just don't have the money. But you got to talk to people who have it. If you were talking to people who had the money, you wouldn't have a problem, would you? You'd be able to sell your stuff very easily. But when you're talking to people who ain't got money, you're going to run into this problem over and over again. So what you need to do is find the people who have the money and sell your products to them. I heard a marketing person say this. Number one rule of sales is don't sell your stuff to broke people. Why? Because they can't afford it. You ain't going to make no sales. And you're going to start thinking something's wrong with you when the problem is not you. The problem is you're just talking to the wrong people. So that's the thing. Brandon said, like, when they tell you to do the same thing. Oh, all right, I get what you're saying. All right, so like a dude talks to a girl and he tells you to do the same thing that you could talk to the girl. Right. Everything doesn't work for everybody. So that's why you got to be able to explain it, how it works. Like what I do, I wouldn't tell all y'all to just do the same thing that I do because you're not me. Everybody got different skills and different abilities, and we don't all do the same thing. Like I talk about mindset, mental toughness, discipline, confidence. Some of y'all might be trainers. You might teach people how to do art. You might sell cars. Everybody got their lane, but there are principles that apply in these lanes. So what I just explained to y'all earlier was the principles. They apply to anybody, but the specifics of exactly what I talk about, I wouldn't tell you to go talk about that because you're not me and I'm not you. So everybody got to know their lane, but the principles apply to everyone. MeMan408 says, he asked me something about, is masturbation bad since you're an expert in habits? Well, that's not really related to the topic. If you read my book, the Mirror of Motivation, though, you can read about that. 25 Basketball says, if you had to choose between pro basketball player, author, or entrepreneur, which one would you pick? I don't have to. I did all three. I don't have to choose. That's the great thing about the world these days is that you could be all of those at the same time. Lucretia says, health coach and personal trainer. Well, listen, it's plenty. Everybody out here needs their health right, and there's a lot of people out here who need personal training. And the more money people make, the more they need personal training often because they so focused on their money, they ain't going to the gym. So listen, it's plenty of money out here for you to get, Lucretia. It's plenty of money for you to get. If you're talking to people who can't afford your rates, you're just talking to the wrong people. Go find the people who got the money. All right, they out there, guaranteed. N. Simon says, what would you look for when deciding? I already answered that question. Ricardo says, writing your goals down is the key. Well, it's a key. I wouldn't say it's the key, but it's a key. What else we got? All right, Meeman, you about to get blocked. All right, Meeman's out of here. N. Simon, stop posting that same question before I had to block your ass too. All right, what else we got in here? Andre Penny official, what's good? What's going on? All right, that's what's up. Lucretia ARB says it's finished doing the Weekend Warrior. That's what's up. White Boy Carter says make sure the screen records so you can look over what Dre says so you guys can review it every day. Well, you ain't got to screen record it. It's gonna be up here for 24 hours, and I'll put this video on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube, so y'all be able to see it later. Lucretia, I'm glad that helped you. You're welcome. White Boy Carter says, how would you deal with teammates dragging your team down and you don't like them personally? You got to step your leadership game up. I got master classes on leadership. I got about 30 of master classes on leadership. So I suggest you go to workonyourgameu.com and get into the game group. I give you the first 2 weeks completely free of charge. Listen to those master classes. I'll tell you exactly what to do. So it's not, I can't just give you the detailed answer. It would take too long right here. So go there where I already laid it out. Let's see what else we got. Big Black says, I'm taking all this in. That's what's up. That's what's up, Lucretia. You can send me a testimonial when I start working for you, or you can send me one now. Video testimonial. I'll give you something special in exchange. All right. Anybody got a question? I'll take a couple more questions before we wrap this up. We've been going for almost an hour. I appreciate the quality questions from everybody who has been paying attention and listening to this. Hopefully, y'all got some value that you can actually go apply from what I've been talking about here. And for those of y'all who don't know, who are new here, I do this every fucking day. I have a podcast. It is called Work on Your Game. If you want all of them, I have, this is not a joke, 1,347 of these. Just like this, what you just heard, 1,347 of these. Send it to my email, dre@dreallday.com. Lucretia, I post my email address in here. Dre@dreallday.com. That's my email address. For those of y'all who would like to learn from me on a daily basis, go to Work on Your Game U for like university, workonyourgameu.com. Somebody asked me, how do you choose a college? This the college. Work on your game university. That's where you should go. You get all the education you need this year, next year, and every year. That's at workonyourgameu.com. That's my game group membership where you get access to every masterclass I've ever done. A lot of my videos that I've done specifically for certain topics, time control, running your business, codifying in your business, videos and articles that I've heard from other people that I think are good that you should know about. All of that is in the game group membership. Go there and look at the video on the page, and I'll show you exactly what's in there. So you know exactly what you're getting. I'm giving you the first 2 weeks free, costs you nothing. You get a course called Sell Yourself. Somebody asked me about selling yourself. That's the first course you get access to on day 15. So your first 2 weeks is free. As soon as you go through your first payment, you get that Sell Yourself course immediately. It's 4 other courses you get, 25 hours, toughen up. I can't even remember all the courses. There's so many courses you get in there. There's 6 courses you get as exclusive as a member of the game group. You cannot buy these courses anywhere, only as a member of the game group. I got new material that comes out every single day. The only way you get access to all of it is as a member of the game group. And those master classes that I keep talking about, I'm starting to offer those a la carte, so where you could just buy one of them. If you only want one, you can buy one and get that. That's coming soon. We put the first one out today. That's at WOYFG.com. WOYFG.com. You know what that stands for? It stands for workonyourfuckinggame.com. WOYFG.com. That's where you'll be able to get them, but they're not all ready yet. I got 1,300 of them, so you imagine that's a lot of work we got to do in the back end. But anyway, work on your game, you. My book, The Mirror Motivation, you get for free. Go to the link in my bio on IG. That's mirrormotivation.com. I got a lot of websites. DreAllDay.com is my homepage. You want to hire me for coaching or speaking, that is at DreBaldwin.com. You're not going to remember all this. So if you got a question about anything that I mentioned here, just hit me in the DM. And if it's a good question, I will answer it. Or I'll send you a link to wherever you need to go. I think that's that. Daryl says, do I believe school should be important for a hooper? Yes, because hooping doesn't last forever. And you're going to have another 50 years to live. And if you don't have any intelligence or knowledge or people skills, then what are you going to do? You're going to be sleeping on the corner on a cardboard box. So yes, just because you play ball does not mean school doesn't matter. School matters. All right, so that's that. Everybody have a great day. Thank you for coming in here. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the questions. Work on your fucking game. DreAllDay.com.